slow day 2 in free agency, but let's go. What is up, Bengals fam? It's your boy Mike coming back at you with another Who Daily. Today, second day of free agency. The Bengals didn't do much, or haven't yet. It's currently about 5 p.m. Pacific time. And more than likely, maybe there's some signals that something may happen tonight. I don't know if you guys follow Malik Wright on Twitter. He's usually pretty plugged into the Bengals organization. He says there's going to be something going on tonight, so we'll wait and see. But for right now, basically, here are the things that happened, right? We already know yesterday the Bengals bolstered that interior offensive line, and they signed B.J. Hill back to a deal after they lost Larry Ogunjobi. So they got their 3-tech penetrator due to starting up a motorcycle right across the street while I'm trying to make a video, which is awesome. No worries, though. They also signed a couple of interior offensive linemen, Ted Karras and...
You're gonna have to restart.
Get out of here. They signed Ted Karras and they signed Alex Kappa. Those are going to be 2 of your 3 starting interior offensive linemen for the Bengals next year. The reason I say just interior is because Karras can play. He has guard center flexibility, so he can play either position. Alex Kappa is going to be your starting right guard. So going into today, that's kind of where we sat. Bengals haven't made any other moves yet. Laramie Tunsil, it was just announced, is going to re-sign. He had his contract restructured with the Texans. There was some speculation he was going to get released because in order to get more cap space. But they were able to restructure that deal, turn some of his base salary into a signing bonus, and push some of that space off. So Laramie Tunsil not going to be with the Bengals, but. There are still plenty of guys on the market the Bengals are going to go after. So I know they're interested in La'el Collins. The fact that they haven't traded for him yet, there is a trade market. The Cowboys have been openly shopping La'el Collins. And there have even been reports of like it being as cheap as like a 6th or 7th rounder to get La'el Collins. The problem is with La'el Collins' history, not just his personal history, but also injury issues and things like this. People just aren't willing to give up draft assets for him, regardless of how cheap it is, because they're not sure. The league isn't sure he's worth that $10 million a year cap hit yet. So we'll see what the market does when he actually gets cut. He will get cut tomorrow if there is no trade happening tonight. He will be cut by the Cowboys once free agency officially opens tomorrow. There's also Terron Armstead is expected to be available as well. Terron Armstead, the right tackle for the Saints, would be a huge upgrade as well. Either of these 2 dudes would be, La'el Collins or Terron Armstead would be really, really good pickups for the Bengals. However, one really interesting thing happened today that I wanted to talk to you about and that was not expected. The Browns cut their longtime starting center, JC Tretter. JC Tretter, if he would have been a free agent out of the gates, would have been the best free agent center available, including Ryan Jensen. So the Bengals have an opportunity here to potentially go grab a JC Tretter who has some Cincinnati connections. I know Mike Brown would probably like this guy. This is an Ivy League school guy. Mike Brown loves drafting Ivy League guys and having Ivy League guys on the roster. He values intelligence really highly. Also, he has a Frank Pollock connection. So JC Tretter, really interesting thing. Like, if they go and sign what would amount to be like the number 1 center on the market, and I don't know what his number is going to end up being, and it may be too rich for their blood. We've already talked about this is a middle class free agency type of team, right? So they're not going to go blow the market. They're not going to go blow the market wide open and pay really high top dollar value, which may put them out of the running for JC Tretter. But this will be an opportunity for the Bengals to either showcase, hey, we're changing our strategy a little bit. We will pay this much for a guy that's this valuable, right? We'll see if they do it. I don't know. I think they should pounce on it. We'll see what they think about it. If they do that, they will absolutely cut Trey Hopkins. That might be the reason. Maybe the reason that Trey Hopkins is still on the roster and not been cut yet is because they're not sure what they're going to be able to get. He may end up needing to be their starting center or left guard, depending on who they want to play at center. because like I said, Ted Karras has that center flexibility. So that's still not that big of a deal, though. I mean, Trey Hopkins has played a high-end guard in his past. He is a little bit old. He's got a little older. He's got some injury history, but he still should be serviceable, especially if you put him in between a really good tackle and a really good center, or you put him in between two really good players. His performance will be buoyed by that by having those good players along the offensive line. Like I said, the Bengals, like I said yesterday, the Bengals have already got a Super Bowl roster. We know that for a fact because they just went to the Super Bowl. Essentially, with this roster, they've not really lost anyone that is gonna take them out of that category of having a Super Bowl roster. So, what have they done? They've added to the places they need to add to get better. But let's not forget, before this free agency period is over, they're going to have to sign at least one tight end and at least one cornerback. So let's not forget about the market that's out there for those guys. Interesting. I mean, there's a lot of really weird stuff going on with the tight ends, right? Like there's this Rob Gronkowski talk. Gronk has been very high on Joe Burrow, but his boy Tom Brady is back in the league now. So you don't know. Maybe he wants to go play one more year with Tom Brady. I don't know. You never know with Gronk. He's crazy, so who knows what he'll do. But I tell you what, he would fit in great on this team. I really believe that. Personality-wise, I think he's a lot like CJ Uzomah, who they just lost. I think that he's a goofball that kind of brings the team together. So don't forget, and also there are good tight ends still out there that the Bengals are going to end up signing. They have to. They've got to sign at least one, and they'll probably draft at least one. So, well, they won't draft more than one tight end. If they draft one, it'll just be one. But it's a matter of how high of a draft pick do you feel like you need to use on that tight end based on who you end up picking up. So I look for them to actually do their middle-class strategy thing. Find one of these tight ends that's on the same level, maybe even a little better than CJ Uzomah and a little bit younger or right around the same age so that they can sign him to a 3 or 4 year deal. The idea here, guys, with these contracts, remember, throughout free agency is going to be signing guys that are going to be around through Joe Burrow's rookie contract window. That's the main idea here, right? So they're not looking to sign one. That's why JC Tretter also might be out of this deal. We don't know. He's 31, I believe, 31 years old. Don't know how much longer he'll play. Will he be interested even in signing a deal for more than 1 or 2 years? Because generally players at that age, they like to get their 1 year deal, get their money, and move on to a different team to the next year. But who knows? We'll have to see with JC Tretter. There are still several other offensive linemen out there that the Bengals could and will end up picking up. They're going to sign quite a bit more. But from a cornerback's perspective, don't be surprised, guys, if there is a corner that drops, one of these corners that have a first round grade on them. Guys like think Kaiir Elam out of Florida in the draft. Guys like Jalen Petrie out of Baylor, who he really projects as a slot corner, strong safety type player, and what the Bengals really need is an outside corner. So just don't be surprised if that ends up being their first round pick as a corner, because they really they do that a lot. They pick corners in the first round a lot, and B, they need a young corner. They need a homegrown young corner to come in and be the guy for basically to be on the team throughout Joe Burrow's tenure as the quarterback. So keep in mind, they're going to go out and sign these guys. The cornerback market is really hard to predict from a free agency perspective. I never thought they were going to go sign Chidobe Awuzie. Eli Apple thing wasn't even on my radar. So I'm not even going to try to project and try to bullshit you guys into thinking that I have any kind of idea who they're going to sign from a cornerback free agent perspective. But I do know they will, because they have to. They have to. They also should look at signing another safety. They need to replace Ricardo Allen. Ricardo Allen didn't get a lot of playing time this past season, but he got enough where it's important in these three safety looks. They need another one. So don't be surprised again that Jalen Petrie pick, right? That could be your third safety on three safety looks on when you're playing thirds defense. And he can be a really good slot corner for you as well. So just looking at kind of some of the options, some of the places they still need to get depth and potentially pick up a starter. So that's going to do it for me, guys. I just wanted to update you. Slow day right now on other teams are doing stuff, but this is a Bengals channel. I don't care about them. So the Bengals haven't really done much today. When they do, you'll be the first ones to hear it right here on the channel. Until then, I've been Mike. This has been Who Daily. Peace.